The last time you saw this truck, it was a different shape. Welcome back to the Scale Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching. I wanted to take this opportunity to show you the TRX6, or at least what remains of the OMG63 Monthly Mayhem TRX6 project. Here it is. It's a TRX6 again. If you're familiar with the Monthly Mayhem series, it's where Josh from Harley Designs and myself take trucks or vehicles or anything really in the RC world and make them do things they weren't necessarily intended to do. In the original project of Monthly Mayhem OMG63 edition, we took the Traxxas TRX6 and made them into speedrun cars. Not exactly the intended purpose, but they actually didn't do that bad. Josh and I managed to eke out some pretty impressive speeds out of this. I got mine up to 60 miles per hour before going exactly to 0 miles per hour in a very epic crash. There's no other way to put it. It was an accident. Not one that I'm proud of, but certainly one that made for some pretty entertaining video. I'll be sure to link that video right up here so you can check that out in all of its glory. But what we're talking about today is the kind of the aftermath of that project, and almost a year later, I've decided to make mine back into a stock TRX6, and it is essentially that, a stock TRX6 again. All of the aero has been removed, most of it removed on its own. A brand new body, a brand new set of rails, a brand new basically everything. Everything else other than the axles and the body mounts had to be replaced. It basically is a whole new truck, if I'm honest, and thanks very much to Traxxas for indulging me and sending me all those parts so I could do this rebuild and to do this video to show the aftermath and where I took this project. Josh, of course, and I will be sure to put a link down below as soon as that video is out, chose to take his TRX6 to even more crazy, ludicrous speeds and did some really amazing construction and some really solid design and made it into an even faster car. I won't spoil it, but let's just say he's got a new record for a TRX6. Pretty impressive. I'm definitely really excited for him. I think it's a pretty amazing feat that he accomplished. But hey, you know what? For me, it's really just about going back to my roots. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about what's happened here. Of course, this is the Traxxas TRX6. This is the AMG63 body. I got a clear one. I painted it in a new Tamiya color that I hadn't seen before called Mustard. I like to think of it more as a Dijon, if I'm honest. I think it actually looks pretty good. I did the painting on the inside, I flat cleared on the outside, and sprayed all of the fenders flat black on the outside as well, just to kind of give it that sort of stock look, but different color. And I'm pretty thrilled with how that color turned out, if I'm honest. I went back to the stock electronics that came with the truck, but did add Traxxas' new Pro Scale lighting kit, and this is a pretty advanced lighting kit. I'm really impressed with all the features that they packed into it. You get high beams, low beams, turn signals, hazard signals, you get reverse lights, you get brake lights. It's a really full function system, all of it able to be controlled from Traxxas Link on your smartphone, which is a really great way to do it. It's a really smart system, and it installs very easily. I'll put a link up here so you can check out that installation video. What do you think you would do if you had a TRX6, or maybe you do have a TRX6? Let me know what you've done with it, what modifications you've made, what things you've tried. Put those comments down below. You know I love reading through your feedback, and I try to answer as many of them as I can. And if you're enjoying this video, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you get updates anytime there's a new video from the Scale Builders Guild. You know what? Before we move any further, let's fire up that light system, because I want to show you that Pro Scale lighting and how it works. So I've got the Traxxas Link running on my iPhone here, and if you go into the lights section of the garage, you will get controls here for the actual lights. So if you just flip that toggle switch, headlights go on. There's the high headlights. Let's get all the auxiliary lights going. which is pretty cool. And you can even make those go into the high beam mode as well. And of course, because this is a full function system, you've also got turn signals. There they are, going on the right side there, and if you go back to center, they turn off. When you go forward, of course, nothing changes, but if you hit the brakes, the brake lights go on. Amazing. And once you go and hit reverse again and go into reverse, the reverse light goes. And they're actually mounted in the rear bumper mount. And you can see that that's going on right there. You can also, there is another mode, and there are a bunch of modes actually. You have to go into underneath here and press the mode button on the actual controller. Then you get full-time, like daytime running lights, if you will. And they've added another one at the bottom here, which is pretty cool. They give you, there's actually a little bit of a indentation in the body to show you where to trim for these two additional lights, the reverse light and everything. And when you go back, that reverse light turns off, of course, but the brake lights still function, which is pretty awesome. There's also another mode here for, I believe, just having like the hazards on. There we go, full hazards flashing now. And I'm not sure exactly what you would want to use that mode for, but there it is nonetheless. I'm really not sure where you're supposed to use the signals. Like, is this like if you're on the road and you're obeying all the traffic laws? Maybe that's the place for them. Regardless, it's cool that Traxxas included them. I think it's a pretty great system. I think it just really makes this truck kind of come to life, if you will. And it's nice to have the ability to control it from your smartphone, which is pretty neat. I think it's pretty great. One other thing that I've also installed is the front winch mount bumper as well. And you can see that there is this really cool, this is an aluminum fair lead, I might add. This aluminum fair lead mounts to the new bumper, and the winch actually fits inside, hidden inside the bumper here. So you've got this great fair lead. You'd have your winch hook hanging out here if I had the winch installed, which I don't. It's on my Bronco right now. But it's a really unique way of mounting that winch. I love the hidden aspect of it because really, this truck does not need any more overhang, front or rear. So it's a really cool way of doing it, and I appreciate the attention to detail. You have to do a small trim on the bumper, but they do give you a template with which to make that cut. So measure once, cut once. The only other modification that I made was I am using these Proline Pro body mounts, and this is just a different way of doing it, but a nice way of doing it. It holds the body down very, very firmly and is a lot easier to deal with than body pins. I'm pretty happy to have a fully functional TRX6 again. I really liked this truck in its stock form. And yeah, it was fun making it go fast, and 60 miles per hour is a pretty respectable number for a truck like this. Of course, it got pretty heavily modified in order to get to that speed, but it was still at its very core a TRX6, and that just proves how versatile this vehicle really is. And it's a pretty impressive truck overall. I'm really happy to have it back to its stock form and hit the trails again, as intended, at a reasonable speed. So there you have it. There's my TRX6. Is it going fast? No. Will it ever go fast again? No. And that's okay. I'm fine with that. We'll leave that sort of thing to Josh. I'm pretty sure he's got that thing to a pretty impressive speed. I think that's sort of going to wrap it up for this episode, and I'm happy to have a TRX6 in its stock form again. Can't wait to get it out trailing. If you've got any great ideas for the next monthly mayhem from Josh and I, be sure to put those comments down below. I would love to hear from you, and we've got a couple of ideas brewing, but we need some help from you. All right, that's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again soon.